Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Michelle. How's everything in your world?
I'm good. I'm good. Getting back into the swing of things. I was on a trip, so
Yes.
I'm getting over some jet lag, getting my kids over the jet lag. It's not
Yes.
easy, but yeah, you also had a trip. So was it hard for you to get back into the swing of things?
It was the first couple of nights back from Egypt. I definitely was struggling with falling asleep and waking up at the right times for sure. But within 5 days or so, I was fine. It was
Mhm.
light, moderate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
were in
yeah.
Paris, right, Michelle? Paris and London?
Yeah, I was in Paris and London. Yes. So,
Cool.
yeah, it's funny, you then everything's different when you're away, right? The way you
Yeah,
eat, the way you move, the way you everything's different, right? So, yeah, just
yes.
getting back into my normal routine, of course, it's different, especially with the time zone, especially with my children.
Oh my god, it's true, and physically getting back into the swing of things, I find that when I take trips, I usually most trips, especially in Europe or Middle East, I'll walk a lot. In
Yep.
Asia, you walk all the time, walk a ton, so your body feels really good, and then coming back to most of
Yeah.
us work
Mhm.
online, and so
Mhm.
we don't
Mhm.
we sit all day.
Yeah.
That was a hard, getting back into the swing of that was hard for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I feel the same way because I would just walk all day long, but my
yeah.
feet well, they're not happier. I don't know. On Instagram, I talked about I stubbed my pinky toe a week before I left for the trip,
Oh,
a
no.
whole week before, and so it's been over a month, and my toe still hurts. And
Ooh.
then last night, I was going to the bathroom and I hit it on a suitcase. And so
Oh my
anyway,
gosh.
the walking wasn't easy. We also in the Louvre cafeteria, my son dropped a chair on my foot and my feet are
Your
suffering.
foot is not having a good year.
It's not. I also fell down the stairs right when we got there. So
Michelle, what is
I
going
know.
on?
It was not. Anyway, I just had to share these things. Anyway, but we're talking about getting back into the swing of things. So, I mean, Lindsay, you've talked about how you don't have the Sunday scaries, right? Because
Not really.
yeah, you don't have those Sunday blues, but I think after a vacation, it can I mean,
Yeah,
I think it's normal to feel a little like,
yeah.
because you miss the travel, I
Well,
guess.
especially if you're dreading your inbox, if you've been gone for a few weeks, what your inbox might look
Mhm.
like, uh, yeah, that can be I mean, vacation is great, traveling is great, so there's always a little bit of a letdown when you get back into your work routine, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But it's also good. Like, I'm happy to talk to you today, and this is fun.
Yeah, of
So
course, of course. Yeah, so I'm excited to get into this topic today, Michelle, the swing of things. But first, we want to let our listeners know about the iOS Android app. What does the app do, Michelle?
Oh my gosh. Well, this app is great because you can listen to an episode and you can have the transcript just on the episode right in front of you so that you can
Yes.
follow along, and you can pick certain vocabulary words and automatically add it to your personalized power vocabulary list, so you don't have
Yes.
to be taking notes all the time, and you can
Hmm.
just get these special words. We choose them for each episode that will be really beneficial to you. And you can just say, okay, I want this one. I want this one. Right.
Yeah, it's super cool. So, guys, go check out the app, allearsenglish.com/app. But I do want to take a second just to shout out to our amazing iOS app users who reviewed us. So, thank you to Kui Wan from China mainland. Thank you to LCWIC from the US. And this person actually asked, they said that they feel that All Ears English has an amazing program. It's been helpful, but they
Hmm.
also asked a question in their
Hmm.
review, which I'm so excited to send you this question, Michelle, so
All
that we
right.
can create an episode on it. So that is a cool way to leave a review. Tell us what you think, throw in a question, because we
Yes.
always read these reviews. SHJVFXDS from the US reviewed us. Thank you. And Shasveen from the US. Amazing reviews and amazing reviewers. Thank you guys.
Thank
Thank you.
you very much.
Yes, good stuff. All right, Michelle, we're ready to get into it.
All right. So we often say get back to the swing of things. And it's so frequent that I realize myself using it or hearing it several times just yesterday. So this is a huge one. Actually, yeah, I was talking to someone and they knew we had come back from a trip. And she
Yeah,
said, oh, is it hard to get back into the swing of things? This is just a
right.
super common one.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, Lindsay, what does this mean?
It just means getting back into your route. Maybe you had some kind of, like I said, departure from your normal life. You did something different, and now you're getting back to your usual routine life, work,
Mhm.
living situation, all those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The
Mhm.
usual life. Guys, just to for fun, we're gonna throw out another episode for you to listen to, which is episode 1929 of All Ears English, is we're happy to share these phrases and pie. So just for fun, listen to that one as well.
I'm not sure if I'm happy to share my pie. I don't know.
Well,
Pie is pretty amazing. I'm not sure if I would share my pie.
which is your favorite kind of pie?
I love, especially this time of year, oh, strawberry rhubarb pie. It's
Oh.
amazing. It's and in June is when it's most in swing. It's only a few weeks of the year you can get it fresh.
Mhm, mhm,
Yes, so
mhm.
good.
Very good. So, we often use this to talk about something new or coming back from a vacation or a weekend. But we can use it in other, yeah, so, like starting something new. For example, it takes about 3 months to get into the swing of things at a new job, right? So,
Right.
into the routine.
Yeah, so this isn't even about coming back from a vacation, right?
Right.
This is a different scenario. Just to get used to the routine, how work is done. We talked on the business podcast this
Hmm.
week about how it does take some time to learn the ins and outs. Another good vocabulary word of
Yes.
a company, ins and outs of a company. Key bonus word for today.
Yes. Definitely. Right.
Mhm.
So, and what's another example?
All right, so you can say, I feel a little bummed about my vacation being over, but once I get back into the swing of things, I'll feel better. So this one is about coming back from a trip and you're getting back into the routine.
Mhm, mhm. So, Lindsay, what do you do to get back into the swing of things when there's a change? So, it
Hmm.
could be with your work, it could be with personal life. Is there anything you do to kind of make ease the adjustment?
Yeah, there are things I do. And I always, when I was, in my 20s living in New York, I always said I would never do these things on Sundays, but I do. And this goes for the weekend into the week too, right? A Monday,
Mhm,
Sunday into a Monday. I
mhm.
do a little cleaning around the house on Sundays. I go grocery shopping. If there's an amazing hike I want to do, I'll skip that stuff and do it during the
Mm,
week. But
mhm.
if it's a default, if I have the day, I'll do some stuff to prep so I feel really clean and
Yeah,
good going into Monday morning. I feel
yeah.
my mind tends to reflect the way my office looks. So I'll straighten out the
Mm.
office, clean off my desk, arrange my papers, and just walk into a clean office on Monday morning. That's what I do.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So, do you do that, like do you clean up your desk now I'm just curious, every day, like, at the end of the day, or usually just that once a
I
week?
I try to do a light cleanup just to arrange but
Yeah.
especially Friday afternoons, things get chaotic, Michelle, on Fridays. Just like, oh, crazy. And I'm usually at my craziest emotionally point. I'm just like so burnt out by Fridays. I think a lot of our listeners are gonna feel this too. And so there's just papers everywhere, scribbling this, gotta do this, gotta do this. So I come back into that maybe Sunday evening and say, okay,
Yeah.
let's get this under control so we don't feel chaotic on Monday morning. So
Right,
that's what I
right.
need. What do you do, Michelle, to get into the week or
I think
after a
I need
vacation?
I think I mean, this sounds silly, but I think just, like, having, like, a quiet night and just, like, watching a show I like. I mean, like, there were shows that, I didn't really much watch any TV while I was away, actually. So, just kind of watching a couple shows that I enjoyed that I wanted to catch up on, so that was nice.
Yeah, that's a good. I think in another episode, I've been watching a couple of those matchmaker shows on Netflix. They are so fun. They're so
Oh,
fun.
have you?
Yeah, we're gonna come
Okay.
back to that another day.
Okay, okay, I love it. Okay, great. Those are fun.
Yeah.
Um, so, I mean, I think also after the global health crisis, it was hard for the world to get back into the swing of things, right? To get used to some of those changes. So, it can
Hmm.
be also just for giant things like that. So,
Right.
getting back into the swing of things can be something as easy, like small as just from the weekend,
Yes.
um, or getting into the swing of things can, a new job, things like that. Or it can be something larger.
Right, could be coming back to working in a physical office after the pandemic, right? Going back to that normal commute, taking the train, which many people have done now.
Yeah.
There's already a huge percentage of the workforce that is just back in the office,
Mhm.
right? Or like you said, a vacation or just a weekend. Anytime you're going back to what's normal. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, right, right. Or just to something being routine, like that's the one kind of difference. Like if you're getting into the swing of things at a new
Mhm.
job, like
Yeah.
getting it to become normal.
Yes.
So it's kind
Yes.
of a little bit interesting. But yeah, I mean, I think for, I don't, I think like what I said, it's a good idea to find something you enjoy after a vacation, maybe something to look forward to,
Yeah.
or after like one thing we did before we left was we did make sure the apartment was semi clean because
Yeah,
one
take out the
time.
garbage, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I actually had my neighbors check on my place specifically to make sure that there was nothing smelly because once we went to Montreal and when we
Oh,
came back, it was late on a Sunday night and we walked in and it was like, oh my gosh, rotten eggs. There were like something rotten eggs, I think, in the
yeah,
trash. And
yeah,
so,
yeah.
anyway,
It happens, Michelle, to the best of us, it's okay.
yeah.
But yeah, that idea of if we have time, we like to clean the house a little bit before we leave and take out the trash, just so we can come back to a sane house that feels clean and feels good, you know?
And it's not fun to do, but then you kind of thank yourself for
Kind
doing
of,
it.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like doing a task for your future self,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And what about knowing everyone else feels the same way? Tell me about this. Like anticipate, is that
Well,
what we just said? That same
yeah,
idea,
I mean,
Michelle?
basically,
Okay.
yeah, just anticipating things and
Okay.
just, if you're having a hard time adjusting back from something, just know that you're not alone and people feel
Okay.
this way. That's all.
I love it. So what are some, so we've got our phrase get back into the swing of things, right?
Mhm.
Or get back to. Can you say into or to? Would you say? Get back
Yeah,
into, get
get
back
back to the
to.
swing of the things. Get back into the swing of things. I think either is
Yeah, I think we
uh
say both. Yeah.
However, if it's a new thing, like the job,
Get
I re
into.
the yeah, get into the swing
Right.
of
It
things
wouldn't be
because you're not
back.
getting back into it. So
That's
that's
right.
kind of a key difference there.
That's interesting, right? Yeah, you would never say
Mhm.
back because you have never been there before.
Right.
So that's important to remember. So good stuff. All right. So what are some other things we could say? I'll throw out the first one, Michelle. Are you ready?
Mhm.
So I could say get back into the groove, right? I'm a little
Mhm.
rusty, but I'll get back into the groove after a few days. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And again, that other example, you could say get into the groove.
Yeah.
It's right
Get
in
into
the
the groove.
similar way, like just getting rid of the back.
Right.
And then another one is acclimate. It's tough
Hmm.
to acclimate after a long vacation.
Yes, I like this one. It's a very
Mhm.
interesting word, right? It's tough
Yes,
to
it is.
acclimate. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a higher level word. Might be maybe
Yes.
an IELTS word, for example. By the way, guys, check out the IELTS Energy podcast with Aubrey and Jessica. I could see
Yes.
that being a high scoring vocabulary word. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's one more?
Get back into the routine. Very straightforward term.
Mhm.
Right? I haven't
Mhm.
exercised in months, but I'll get back into the routine soon. Exercise is another one of those things that you just have to be in the habit.
Yep.
You know? Yeah.
Once you lose it, it's gone and it's hard to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, well, let's do a role play. So
Okay.
we are friends and it's a Sunday night.
Okay, here we go.
Ah, I don't want tomorrow to be Monday.
Oh, it's okay, Michelle. You'll get back to the routine before you know, and before you know it, it will be Friday again.
That's true. It's tough to acclimate after the weekend. I feel like it takes me a while to get back into the groove.
Yeah, but once you're at work, you'll feel better. You'll easily get back into the swing of things. Nice. I'm really encouraging you,
Thank
you
you.
know. I think this is something if, if our listeners are parents of teenagers, for example, they might be having this conversation, right? About
Mhm.
not wanting to go to school. I feel like I
Mhm.
I had most of my Sunday scaries in my school days.
Oh. Oh, man, did I have them.
Oh,
I had them a lot in school. I remember,
yeah.
like, yeah, after especially when finishing a break, like winter break, I remember just being like, "Oh god."
Yeah, it was I had a lot of I had anxiety for sure
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Monday mornings. Thankful that I don't experience that so much
Yes.
in my adult life.
Yes, yes.
But anyway, so what do we say here, Michelle? What do we say? So I said,
Alright. You said you'll get back to the routine, and before you know it, it will be Friday again.
right, and then you said, that's true. It's tough to acclimate after the weekend, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Mhm.
And then I said, "I feel like it takes a while to get back into the groove."
Yeah, and then I said, yeah, but once you're at work, you'll feel better. You'll easily get back into the swing of things. So get back into the swing of things. Nice.
And I feel like that's true. I also, I have this sometimes after, like, a family visit. I'll, have,
Yeah.
like, a funny feeling, like I'm sad, like, when my parents leave or, something, and then it's like, "Oh," but then once you start getting,
You just
then once you start getting moving and doing things, then you're like, "Okay, I got you. I'm okay."
Yeah, it's so true. That used to happen to me in college a lot. I think I said this before, but when my parents they didn't come very much because I was in Virginia, they lived in New Hampshire. But when they came for parents' weekend or to see a big tennis match weekend, I would be so sad when they left.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then you get over Monday, and then by Tuesday, you're like, okay, I'm going to the dining hall, I'm going to
yeah,
classes, I'm doing my
yeah.
thing, tennis practice. Life is normal again,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
Oh, makes me miss the college days, actually, like
I kind of miss them, but I don't totally miss them. I don't know. Mixed
I
feelings.
don't yeah, I don't totally, but I could do it for a little while.
Yeah, it's a good life. It's a good life
Yeah,
for sure.
it
Oh
is.
my gosh. All right, Michelle, what's a takeaway for our listeners?
All right, well, we all have this feeling. I think it's pretty universal, and I think it's
Yeah.
fair to say, that it can be hard to acclimate after something or to get used to something new, a new job, whatever it is, a new living situation. But, we gave you some of the ways we tried to acclimate, and we also gave you some ways to connect with others, some expressions to use.
All right. Very good. Good stuff, Michelle. I'll see you back on here very soon. And guys, don't forget to go get the app because this will help you go deeper with today's episode and all of the episodes of All Ears English. allearsenglish.com/app. All right, Michelle, talk soon.
All right, bye, Lindsay.
Bye.